Okay, my name is Keith Palz. I'm the principal at CICS Prairie, which is on the south side, the proud south side of the city of Chicago. If you've read about Chicago lately, you probably read about my neighborhood. It's awesome. We're thriving. We've got a very good community going in our building. 420 students, offering everything you can imagine in a K-8 school in Chicago. Today, I just want to talk to you about an idea that we use to get all hands on deck. So we're looking at the way we use time and the way we use talent a little bit differently so that everybody in the building can be, for a certain amount of time during the day, with students in small groups. So, edit the joke, okay? So, why do pirates like card games? Anybody? 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 Because all hands on deck. Get it? Get it? My wife told me that was going to bomb. She did. But I really love the picture. It's like, see the doggies have pirate hats on. Yeah, it's hard to Google that. Well, that's another talk though. So here's the problem, okay? This is an algorithm for all you math folks. We've got general education teachers, special education teachers, students, social workers, interventionists, resident teachers, deans, assistant principals, instructional coaches, data, and then we have curriculum and ed tech programs, and how in the world do you make that all come together in order to make sure that you can create this extreme differentiation or personalization, and also use that as a leverage point for teachers who did not learn about personalized learning in school, did not learn how to implement ed tech programs in school, did not learn about the environment that they are working on in our schools. So it's actually a great time of the day to learn all those things, and you can have PD on a large scale that's just focused on that, and it definitely transcends farther into the rest of your day. Now, if you were writing a grant, you'd write out your problem like this, nice and wordy, but today we'll just go with this. So how do we get all the students in small groups with teachers? So this is a bunch of just screenshots I took from John Hattie's research, if you're familiar with visible learning and the leverage points of different instructional strategies that we can use in our school. In our schools, if we can get our teachers with small groups, we can get a lot of leverage out of those small groups. So we do believe, by the way, that at distinctive schools that the #1 piece of tech in the classroom is the teacher. It's also, by the way, the most expensive piece of tech in the classroom. So we want to support them. So this is just a picture of one part of our innovation, and that is looking at how the time of a school day. So this is a slide, just snapshot of our schedule, and the big point to point out is this part at the beginning of the day. So the start of our day in our building is exactly the same for everybody. This is this year. Next year, we're going to modify it a little bit. We start with a morning meeting, and then we go into this hour where everybody's in a classroom. Everybody who is, well, that includes social worker. My social worker has a group that she's with every day. The dean's in there. Assistant director is in there. Everybody except for office staff and the principal are with students in small groups. So time, check. All right, so then how do you move people around? So some people, like my social worker, is not super comfortable leading a group, right? She does not look at herself as a trained educator, although she's great with kids in social emotional areas, right? And she doesn't get enough time to be with those groups. So what we've done is paired her with a team of teachers so that she can actually do some social emotional learning with those groups. Our dean, same thing, with a group so that he can support a teacher around classroom management while he's in there during the day, and also using data for that. So we're averaging about 4 teachers per grade level in 2 classrooms. So each classroom has about 2 adults in it on average. Then we have like all these resources. These are just some of the resources we use, and some of the data that comes out of this we use to drive the instruction, from NWEA's Skills Navigator program to whether it's GG and ST Math. Our teachers are kind of given the road and how to use the data, but they're also told that on a bi-weekly basis, what we want to do is regroup our students based on where they are. The piece of data that you're using is up to you, but you need to be able to back that up. So we have conversations with them on how to look at the data, what's that piece of data that's the leverage point for you and your kids. But there's 2 big pieces around this, is that you have to put in your schedule also time for collaboration with other teachers and time for PD, because like I said at the beginning, these are skills that our teachers are not learning in college before they come to us. And then, of course, one of our great teachers down there. So now we've got the resources down, then the space. So we use every part of the building, from the teacher's lounge to the gym to the cafeteria. We use everything in the building, so there are groups all over the place. And now you have the locations, as long as you're flexible enough and you're willing to use every part of the entire building. So what the result is small groups everywhere. The pictures on the next 3 slides, this one, and this one, I took within 15 minutes. So all I did was walk around the building with my phone, snap, 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 snap. This is what's happening in real time between 8:15 and 9:15 in our building every single day, this morning included, even though I'm not there because I don't have a group. So, but let's see what else. So some key insights just in the last minute here. I think so. One thing that has happened out of this is the culture around learning has grown. Some individuals on our campus didn't believe that they were part of the learning process, so that when we were talking about data or we were talking about student growth, that we're not as invested as they are now because they have their own group that they are really focused on. And as I think another piece, because I'm running out of time here, just we opened up the schedule to everybody in the building for comments. The first year we did this, I think there were somewhere around 30 different iterations of spreadsheets of different ideas on moving things around. And then we kind of brought that to the staff and said, what do you think? And just on a comment session, so they got to feedback on it. So we moved some things around based on their feedback, so they actually had a voice too. And then lastly, I get some pushback over the last 2 years from some teachers who are like, oh, I'd really like to do this during the morning power hour block. And I think that maybe if we move this into the power hour block, that would be really beneficial. And just, this is core to what our building is offering this particular innovation and having that conversation with them about why it's so important that we all drop everything during this time of the day and sticking with it. And sticking with any innovation, I think, is really important. So thank you. I think I went over it.